So the federal trial is heating up against Todd and Julie Chrisley, from Chrisley Knows Best, where a former employee, a man, is saying that he had an intimate relationship with Todd Chrisley. Surprised? Welcome back to the Kempire Daily YouTube channel, where you get daily and consistent hot topics in music, entertainment, reality TV, and so much more. As always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. First of all, I have to say this. I love Chrisley Knows Best. And I know that this illegal situation is being not covered as much because of the Johnny Depp and Amber Heard trial. But a federal trial recently began on May 16th against Todd and Julie Chrisley for bank and wire fraud. Before we get into the details of their former employee admitting an intimate relationship with Todd Chrisley and also falsifying documents for them, let's get into why they are on trial, because I know a lot of you don't even know. Even I was like, okay, I know what they're on trial for, but here are the specific details of what you need to know and why they are on trial right now. The trial comes after the Chrisleys were indicted by a federal grand jury in August of 2019 for 12 counts of bank and wire fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy, all of which the Chrisleys have denied. Todd, at the time, defended himself on Instagram in August 12th of that year, shifting the blame to one of the family's, quote, trusted employees, claiming that he had been stealing from them. We will get back to that employee in a second. The reality personality noted that it all started back in 2012, and it involved all kinds of really bad stuff like creating phony documents, forging our signatures, and threatening other employees with violence if they said anything. The couple was cleared of their state tax evasion charge in Georgia in October of 2019, but continued to face federal charges for allegedly evading federal taxes. If you don't know who they are, Todd Chrisley, Julie Chrisley, their family, Chrisley Knows Best. It's been on for a very long time. It's actually a really cute show. But there have been rumors about, first of all, Todd's sexuality, but there have also been rumors about how they make their money. Back in 2019, as I said to you before, they were indicted. So Todd and Julie were indicted on 12 counts of bank and wire fraud, tax evasion, and conspiracy in August of 2019, after being accused of evading nearly $2 million in state taxes between 2008 and 2016. Prosecutors also claimed that they used their production company, 7C Production, to hide over $1 million worth of reality TV income from the IRS. And they alleged that Todd directed an employee to falsify income and asset documents. The Chrisleys turned themselves in and pleaded not guilty to the charges at the time. That October, the Georgia Department of Revenue cleared them of state tax evasion charge, agreeing that the Chrisley Knows Best stars had overpaid in 4 of those years and owed nothing for the other 4. In total, they had a net liability of less than $77,000 in overdue taxes for just 1 year of incorrect filing. You're probably wondering, so what are they on trial for now? Although the State Department of Revenue signed a settlement agreement that ended a 2-year investigation into the couple's alleged state tax liabilities, Todd and Julie continue to face federal charges for allegedly evading federal taxes during those same years. According to Fox 5 Atlanta, they said both face 1 count of conspiracy to commit bank fraud, 5 counts of bank fraud, 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States, and 1 count of tax fraud. Julie Chrisley faces additional counts of wire fraud and obstruction of justice. The Chrisleys' accountant, Peter Tarantino, is charged with 1 count of conspiracy to defraud the United States and 2 counts of willfully filing false tax returns. Here are some other important details in regards to what happened on May 17th in regards to the opening statements from the attorneys. So on May 17th, Assistant U.S. Attorney Annalise Peters gave her opening statement claiming that Todd and Julie submitted false documents exaggerating their wealth to banks to borrow over $30 million that they burned on their affluent lifestyle while additionally hiding money from the IRS. They made up documents and they lied through their teeth to get whatever they want, whenever they want it. Peters told the jury. Todd Chrisley's attorney, Bruce H. Morris blamed the couple's former employee, Mark Braddock. We're going to get to Mark Braddock. There's a reason why I'm giving you this lead in. For impersonating Todd and committing fraud behind the couple's back, reportedly turning on them after he was fired in 2012. Despite Peters deeming Braddock as a fraudster, she noted that the couple continued the act after ties with him were cut. Because remember, this is not just for 2008 to 2012. It's for 2008 to 2016. Tarantino, the Chrisley's accountant, his attorney said that his client was in over his head and unqualified to handle the Chrisley's finances, noting that he failed the CPA exam many times over 20 years. So you had you were making millions of dollars and you had an accountant that failed the CPA exam multiple times. Regardless of his lack of qualifications, the attorney noted that Tarantino is not a criminal. So let's get back to Mark Braddock, the man who worked for Todd and Julie Chrisley and also is admitting an intimate relationship with Todd Chrisley. So Mark said that he met Todd Chrisley at a school function for their children in the early 2000s and became friends 2 years later when they lived in the same neighborhood. Mark said he altered documents to help Chrisley get loans. When the prosecutors asked why he would commit fraud for Chrisley, Braddock replied, "I was complicit in giving him what he needed. We had a personal relationship of an intimate nature. I would do whatever he needed to get done." According to Mark, he says that the intimate relationship lasted for about a year. Well, they went on to have a business relationship and a, quote, brotherhood. He said that he then began working for Chrisley's Executive Asset Management, a company that managed and sold foreclosed properties. He said he helped grow the company from 2 employees to 60, and later worked for a similar company that Chrisley founded after Executive Asset Management was sold in 2005. Mark testified that Chrisley burned through more than $3.5 million from the sale of the first company in a year by buying Bentleys, other luxury cars, designer clothes, and more. He also said that a few years later, when the second half of the $8 million payment came through, Chrisley also burned through that money. Braddock testified that he used Microsoft Word to create fake documents inflating the Chrisley's income and the amount of money in their account to make it look as if they were wealthier than they were in order to acquire loans on their behalf. He also created fake documents for their own financial benefit. He testified on cross-examination yesterday. Again, you may recall the Chrisleys fired Mark Braddock back in 2012. Todd Chrisley has since alleged that Braddock stole money from his family. Very important detail. So Mark, after he was fired, went to the FBI and told officials he had committed financial crimes on the Chrisleys' behalf. Before the family became famous on their show, Chrisley Knows Best, the government granted Braddock immunity in exchange for his cooperation in the case. So this was happening before we knew them. And then we always think to ourselves, why would these people go on reality TV if they are doing unsavory things, allegedly? Narcissism. The immunity agreement did not prohibit other federal attorneys' offices or state governments from prosecuting Braddock on separate charges. Prosecutors on Monday asked Braddock if he was aware that if he were to lie to jury, he would be charged with perjury. He responded, "There is not a doubt in my mind." So while you guys are busy watching Johnny Depp and Kate Moss today, I saw that, and of course the Amber Heard situation, there's this other legal case that's going on that we should be paying attention to. Is this going to play out on a new season of Chrisley Knows Best, or was it canceled? I haven't watched it in a long time. I usually watch it in reruns anyway. But a lot of people have been looking at the Chrisleys for a long time saying, how do you guys make your money?
Where is it?
But of course, a lot of people have also been looking at Todd Chrisley because they view him as very effeminate and he's denied being gay. However, this man that worked for him for many years is alleging that they had an intimate relationship for about a year. Is this going to open Pandora's box of more men coming out? Who knows? Who knows? But what will happen to the Chrisleys if they are convicted? I think that's an important detail because I know a lot of people want to know. So this is coming from People magazine. They said when the Chrisleys were first indicted in 2019, People spoke with tax attorney Dawn Delia, who explained the consequences the couple could face if convicted of the alleged crimes. At the time, Dawn explained that if the case does go to trial, which it has, and the jury rules in favor of the government, the IRS can grab everything that they have to fulfill the debt. She noted that the IRS moves the charges from the administrative to criminal when it's a very serious case, which is what they are facing. She added that if it does come out that the jury agrees, Todd and Julie could face up to 5 years in prison for tax evasion and possibly even more. While the couple is still facing federal charges for allegedly evading federal taxes, there hasn't been an update on what's at stake for them since they were cleared of their state evasion charge in October of 2019. Guys, we're going to continue to follow this story as the important details come out, or the juicy details come out. But have you been following this story? What do you think and what do you believe? Let's continue that conversation below. And as always, be sure to like this video, subscribe to the channel, and hit that notification bell so you never miss out on breaking news when we go live or when we upload. Thanks for watching.